Beautiful. We're here. Let's go, baby.
We live?
I believe so. I believe so. Just a second. Clarify that we're up here. Can you test that for me? But I believe so.
Ho, ho, ho.
Is that a yeah?
I'm pulling it up.
Oh, I don't want the audio, but I heard it. Let's go, baby. Beautiful stuff. Very, very beautiful stuff. Besides you shrinking for some reason. That boy's clicking and clacking.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty cool.
I wanted to pull up chat.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. All right, everybody, welcome to the Spectators Live. We're just figuring out
Yeah.
everything out
Yo.
to set it up for you guys real quick. I do need you to stop clicking around though, because every time you like leave Skype, it expands the
I'm
thing.
I'm done clicking.
Cool. Let you know.
I mean, is it gonna bother you when I'm clicking on my other screen?
I think you just get a little laggy. Yeah, you just get a little laggy. That's all. You just get a little laggy. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing now that you weren't before.
Hmm?
Your thing keeps moving, but it's okay. It is okay. You ready? You ready to get into it? 2 minutes in.
I'm ready to get into it.
Let's go. I'm gonna also record on here, and we are good to go. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Spectators. Today, we are going to be getting into the NFL action from the week 1 and 2 and the absolutely wild MLB Wild Card race. We'll be right back for you. What is up, everybody? My name is Julian Osius. I am here with my boy Brooklyn. What is going on, Brooke? Welcome to YouTube Live, baby.
Yo, what's poppin', bro? We out here.
Yes, sir.
We live, baby.
Yes, sir. We are here for you guys on YouTube. If you guys don't already know, this will also be on Spotify and Apple Music if that's where you guys listen to us as it normally is. And today, we got a lot to talk about. We didn't record an episode last week because we brought all the new stuff and announcements that you guys saw on all of our socials. But we have a lot to talk about, including the NFL being back. The NFL's back, Brick.
It is, man, and these last 2 weeks been wild.
Yeah, they have.
NFL been going
There's
crazy.
a lot of weird teams winning games by a lot you don't expect. Upsets week 1, and then I think week 2 made a lot more sense. But there was some pretty cool stuff, including that game last night on Sunday night that ended
Whew.
absolutely wild. Uh, let's start off with that. Let's start off with that Ravens Chiefs game. It's the most recent thing in our brain. Let's get right into that. What were your thoughts seeing that? Ravens get the dub.
Shout out to the Ravens. Hobbled, man. Hobbled, and they go into a shootout with Mahomes and the Chiefs. Impressive. Really impressive that they take it all the way to the end. They end up winning. What Harbaugh asking Lamar, hey, you trying to go for it, bro?
Of
Lamar said,
course,
of
yes,
course, coach.
yes.
Convert on fourth down, and he flips into the end zone. Game winning drive. Insane game, bro.
Yeah.
Insane.
And I mean, it shows a lot from the Ravens, right? They were down pretty big. Uh, they they were down a lot. The Chiefs scored pretty quickly too. I mean, it was a 7-7 game within 2 minutes to start this game. So we're
Insane.
here thinking it's going to be a high scoring game, and it did wind up being that, 36-35. The Ravens get the big upset. I don't expect a lot of people thought they were going to win this game. They are really, really hobbled and injured. Granted, it was a home game. Obviously, that helps a lot. But the Chiefs are one of the most talented teams we've seen in a long, long time. We are kind of going through the list of guys they got the other day, and it's pretty nuts. They have the best quarterback, the best tight end, and arguably the best wide receiver in the entire sport, along with probably the smartest and like most creative offensive mind in a coach in Andy Reid. So
Absolutely.
that's a big win for the Ravens, more so than it is a big loss for the Chiefs. I don't think you hit the panic button for the Chiefs. You didn't expect to go 17-0 and then all that.
And I'm sure they come into this game kind of underestimating them just a little bit, just enough for the Ravens to hit that extra gear and catch them on their heels. So
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, again, the Ravens are down to their fourth string running back. They lost three
yeah,
of them in one day. This is a team that's hobbled, and they're trying to figure out themselves on offense. And that's been a thing that we've noticed from the Ravens for a couple of years now. They're trying to piece together an offense. It looked a little bit better yesterday, especially in that second half. And Lamar is just still Lamar. We don't have an answer for him.
it's tough. It's really tough because he could hurt you in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And you can prepare all you want, but you're not going to replicate that in practice at all. And once you see it in game, and then you got him just improvising and doing what he does and just being a menace on the field, what are you going to do?
Yeah, he's definitely a
You're,
menace.
you're just at the mercy. You're at the mercy of what he can do.
Yeah, when
And
you got
you got to just pray that you
I
can
I
stop
told
him.
you about this before we started going live. Lamar Jackson, he is second all time in most 100-yard rushing games for a quarterback. He has 48 games it took him to get 9 rushing, so pretty good, right? Michael
Hmm.
Vick is number 1. He has 10 rushing games of 100 or more yards. It took him
How long it took?
142 games.
Sheesh.
So
And you said 40, 48?
48. So probably before number 50 or at 50, he'll tie the guy who created the genre of player, the dual threat quarterback outside of college. I mean, it was Mike Vick. That was the guy everybody wanted to emulate when they were running the ball as a quarterback. And, you know, then Cam Newton came around, and then we had Russell Wilson, even Aaron Rodgers to an extent. And now you're seeing, like, what it can really do with Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar's the most like one-to-one comparable Vic. Obviously, just better passer.
Yeah, and I don't know. We've seen these guys again. Cam Newton's won an MVP, and he's been a fantastic runner. Uh, More physical than he was as like a speedster like Vic, and I see the one-to-one you're talking about. So you got a
Mm.
guy like that. These guys have played each other, I think, every year for the last 3 or 4 years now. So we've seen Lamar versus Patty, and it's probably going to keep happening. I'm excited to see it pretty much every year at this point.
Yeah, that's you check that game when you look at the schedule every year, bro.
Yeah.
Like that is the one when you look at all the matchups.
You
Chiefs
know what vibes it
Ravens
gives me? It's big Colts Patriots vibes,
read my
right?
mind.
Big Colts because
Read my
both
mind.
teams were first place in the division every year with Peyton and Tom, so that means you're gonna play
Yeah.
each other every year. And granted, the Ravens are gonna have a tough time winning that division with pretty much all those teams being significantly better. Uh,
Yeah.
Steelers, who knows what's happening with them? I don't know, but the Browns are really really good, and the Bengals are getting better. The Bengals are definitely getting better. It took 3 interceptions on 3 straight plays for them to lose to the Bears,
Hmm.
and they still only lost by 3. So the Bengals are definitely a lot better. Joe is still figuring that out, but that Bears defense is still as legit as we've known. Roquan Smith and I'm blanking on his name right now, the linebacker. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but those guys are some beasts over there.
Absolutely.
What's another game you want to talk about?
Well, not really a game, but since you mentioned the Bears, Andy Dalton actually goes down, like we actually talked about a couple of weeks ago on our NFL preview, and we got the young buck in.
Yeah. Um,
What'd you think?
I mean, Justin looked good. I mean, obviously they win this game, and the offense was the
Hmm.
best it's looked in a while in that fourth quarter.
Yeah,
Granted, that's not saying much.
not
The
at
best
all.
the Bears offense has looked in a while is pretty lackluster. But this is a team that is building. They're trying to create offense out of things that they kind of got to manufacture, right? But we said it like you mentioned on the NFL preview. Had Andy gotten hurt week one, I do not think they'd bring in Justin. Like I think they were so adamant about we want you to sit and watch an NFL game.
Yeah.
And now he did that and he sat and watched a chunk of this game and he goes down and now here we are. It's the rookie show.
There's a lot of rookies around the whole, or not really rookies, but just young QBs all around the league. And I know Tom was saying that the other day, like the days of having Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers around are they're they're done. And here you got old man Tom still rocking in his little lawn chair, just watching these little kids play.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
just
so dope to
Justin
see.
Fields and Mac Jones, two rookies already playing significant minutes and winning games in their second start or not start, but like second game of their NFL career. Uh, Mac
Hmm.
Jones with the Patriots, they really put a whooping on the Jets. I'm sorry to talk about that. And we're talking about young QBs. Um, Sometimes it takes some time to develop, right? And um, it,
Absolutely.
it's it's really weird. We talk about this a lot in the NBA, where we don't give guys enough time. Like we want to call them busts. We want to say they're bad right away. And
Hmm.
I agree with that to an extent, especially guys that are drafted really high overall and they're 18, 19, 20 years old. You got to give them some time. Zach Wilson seems to be one of those guys. He obviously has a talent. Um,
Yeah.
2 weeks in, yesterday was a pretty rough day against a team that's gonna scheme against you being a young guy. So
Yeah,
it's
Belichick is just a menace when it comes to young
you know
players. It's tough.
it's tough, and you know there'll be better days ahead, hopefully for Zach. That's all you can hope for, and then just slide over to maybe it's a product of playing against Bill Belichick, and you have those games, and it like stunts your growth perhaps because now you look at a guy, former Jet Sam Darnold, 2 weeks in, he's looking really really good over there in Carolina.
Yeah, and I've been saying for a while, Darnold just needs the pieces around him, whether that be actual offensive weapons, a good coaching staff, a good scheme, a good environment, whatever it may be. Darnold needed that, and he would strive. And we're seeing it in Carolina. He's looking great, and the Panthers are looking great too.
Yeah, I mean, their defense, I think it was last year, the Panthers did not spend a single draft pick on an offensive player. It
Hmm.
clearly is working out
Yeah.
because their defense looks just reinvigorated. Even if they're not as talented, it's a bunch of young guys who they want to prove something on defense, and they've all were brought together to learn this scheme together. So clearly, it's doing something. And when you have, we talked about it yesterday, Christian McCaffrey might be one of the best offensive weapons ever,
Yeah.
just in terms of what he brings. That he's going to give you 70 yards on the rushing attack and on the receiving end,
Mm,
gets you a touchdown either which way. He can bust open a big tackle. He can run the ball 30 times. Like he can do so many different things.
no
That
doubt.
helps a quarterback like Sam just not feel the pressure.
Yeah, and bringing back up the defense and just them wiping the board and just going all in on getting defensive players, it works out for them so much better in a sense because all those guys are just being built and formed together. You're not having to play somebody, all right, you got to try to fit into this while these guys are doing that. No, as you're building, you're just one by one, all of them are coming together as a beautiful puzzle.
Yeah.
And down the line, that's going to work out so good for the Panthers, especially on the other side of the ball when you got CMC and the rest of the boys.
Yeah,
Like,
when they get a true number one wide receiver at some point, because that'll happen.
hmm,
Uh,
exactly.
However it winds up happening, this could be a interestingly fun team. I think none of us expected our defense to take the stride it took.
No.
So big shout out
So
there.
I would definitely keep an eye out for the Panthers for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Just,
Now this was a really weird game because last week you see the Saints absolutely steamroll the Packers, right? And we'll talk about the Packers a little bit because they are playing tonight, so we're not going to be able to get the full picture on them. Find out if Aaron's actually throwing. Um, but clearly, the Saints got a big false sense of confidence in that game, right? Because they come into this game,
yeah.
they don't have a single rusher for over 20 yards, and they don't have a single running back over 10. The only two rushers that had more than 10 yards were Jameis and Taysom Hill. Those are their quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see.
And then when, you know, Jameis only threw the ball 22 times, so they just did not have any type of flow on offense. They didn't run that many plays offensively. And that's just not how you're going to win a football game at any level. Unless you're just throwing one and done 70-yard bombs like in Madden when we were 12 years old, but that doesn't exist.
Hey, we still doing the 25.
We're still you're still playing Madden. That's a whole different issue. That's a whole different issue. But hopefully they kind of figure out. Okay, week 1 was weird. Week 2
Yeah.
it got handed to us. So let's
Yeah.
come back, figure it out. Jameis will be okay, hopefully.
And that's the thing. I do think Jameis will strive. But again, you mentioned the false sense of security. That could have been a case.
Yeah, I definitely do think that was part of it. I definitely
Because
do.
you just steamroll them, and then you come into next week, you're playing the Panthers, and it's like, okay.
Right.
So.
No, for sure.
And then you get caught on your heels, and that's not where you want to be.
Yeah, a team that's surprising some people. The Oakland Raiders. They look pretty good to start the year. They get a pretty big win against the Steelers this week. Steelers, pretty handily beat the Bills week 1. Another kind of a fluke game. I think that was just kind of getting the rust off for the Bills. Not so much a fluke. The Steelers are a pretty decent team, but getting the rust off. Bills come back, absolutely blow out the Dolphins. They're clearly figuring that out, getting into season form. But the Raiders 2-0, and we've seen the Raiders do this a couple of times where they kind of start hot or start slow and then gravitate towards like being mediocre. Do you think that's the case?
I don't. I think they actually stay the course for the most part. I don't think there'll be too much of a drop off because they got some talent, especially on the offensive side.
Ruggs had a great game yesterday.
Yeah. So I think the Raiders aren't to be slept on.
Yeah, I kind of see them in a very weird situation where Derek Carr kind of reminds me at this point, and it's kind of tough to say, but he kind of reminds me of Kirk Cousins. Like, he's kind of good, but is he? He can win you some weird games that don't really make sense, but then we've seen Derek Carr over the last 5-6 seasons just not show up. And, Raiders are 2-0. They're in Vegas. I don't really know what to think about this team. They got 2 good wins though. That's the thing. They're not like cheapo wins either. They're pretty good wins.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they keep on rolling, but I wouldn't say I'm like high on them where I think they're gonna go crazy. But I do think people aren't giving them the credit that they should be getting.
Okay.
So.
Anybody else you want to talk about?
The Seahawks Titans game turned out to be pretty interesting. Titans looked like they were just done, especially last week too. They didn't really look too good.
No, they didn't look good at all.
They come into this, and then fourth quarter comes around, and they managed to take them to OT, and here we are.
Yeah, Derrick Henry just picking up where he left off last season. Week 1, I think the Cardinals just really focused on Derrick, and there's he's not going to beat us. And
And that's the main thing you got to do.
I mean, but everybody's been saying that for a couple years now. It's way easier said than done.
Oh, absolutely.
And
That's not something that you could just say and it's gonna happen.
yeah, and giving
Like
up
you gotta
180, 182 and 3 touchdowns is not great. And Derek also had 55 in the air too. So he was just a menace yesterday.
Yeah.
Absolute menace. Julio Jones looking cute over there in his second game as a Titan as well. 129. So Titans might be
Love to
figuring
see
out.
it.
This is a really good win. This was in Seattle too, yeah? I think this was in
I
Seattle. Yeah, it was. This was in Seattle. So
yeah.
the Seahawks don't lose at home. You don't run over
I
the
believe this
Seahawks at
was the
home.
first game that they had fans since everything's happened. Like a regular season game. So
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's been a while, and
yeah.
it kind of reminded me of the Ohio State game where it's like you guys haven't had fans in a while. This is one of the best home field advantages in the sport, and kind of a disappointing end to it. Anybody else I want to get into? The Bucks look really good. Tom Brady's still the best in the league. Don't care. Anything to add? Gronk is back too. Gronk is all the way back.
The Gronk Brady connection just
It's
travels.
nuts.
They got a world tour and they getting everybody.
It's insane. Gronk is
They
like
getting
actually
everybody,
good. He's
man.
not there to be like a public figure. He's just good.
No,
He's
it's
just
nuts,
good.
man.
Also, Kyler Murray looks like an MVP candidate. He had 2 really bad picks yesterday, but week 1 and week 2, he has made so many plays happen. And he has AJ Green now.
Yeah, Kyler, that's one I'm so excited to see his development throughout the season, man. Because now he's finally like really settled in, and it hasn't been too much of an issue where like you've had to worry about too much of any jitters
Yeah.
from Kyler. But now he could just stand 10 toes and just ball.
Yeah, and I mean, they probably shouldn't have won this game. They wound up winning it. Vikings lose on a missed kick, but you take those wins, and especially in a division as tough as theirs is, they have 3 more talented teams in their division than them. And I think the Cardinals could win maybe any other division in the NFC outside of the Bucks one. Like, and they might get 4th, they might get 1st. I don't really know. This division's insane.
It is.
I
You're
don't
not
think.
wrong about that.
I think the Seahawks are the only. Yeah, there's one loss. This division is 7-1 on the season.
We said it before the season even started. The NFC West is going to be phenomenal. This race is going to come down to the last week of the season.
Yeah.
I'm very confident in that.
Yeah, I am too. It definitely will.
Because the Seahawks are in last place in week 2.
They have 1 loss.
I've seen people start panicking. Don't. Like, this is going to be just a head-to-head slugfest between all 4 of them.
No, you're absolutely right. And then there is a pretty bad Thursday night game. I don't want to talk about it.
Don't.
I will absolutely not do that to ourselves. Anybody that you're looking at as an individual player before we move over to baseball?
Individual. I want to see Herbert lead the Chargers because tough 2 weeks again. He runs into Dak. Dak ends up putting on a clinic like he's been doing.
I will say Justin played really well in this game, and
yeah,
a combination of his O-line just deciding to hold every other play and the refs doing taunting penalties really just destroyed all the touchdowns they should have had. So
absolutely. So I'm interested to see how this is going to keep on progressing because we talked about it last year. He looked really good. The Chargers looked decent enough to be where they were. Obviously, losing all the close games was tough. But now, coming into a new season, year 2, you got your feet wet. I want to see what happens. So I'm keeping my eye on them.
I agree. Cool. So since we're talking about individual players, we have our brand new member of the Spectators. His name is Gerard Teamer. He is going to be running our fantasy corner. Gerard, let him know who did well and who didn't in fantasy this week.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy G-Man. Have a rushing game week 1. They had one week 2, and now that passing game is open for week 3. George Kittle is top 5 tight end. I don't gotta say much. Jimmy G is playing scared because Trey Lance is on his tail, and he's gonna take over sooner than later. So Kittle will be fine. All the way sleep on Big Ben. Big Ben is asleep. I'm slumped. Father Time is here, and Father Time is knocking on his door. He's a very low-end QB2 for the rest of the way. Mac Jones, yeah, he's accurate. Yeah, he's this, he's that, but he's not a good fantasy quarterback. He has 1 touchdown through 2 weeks, and I don't like him to be anything more than maybe a depth chart pickup for like injuries and stuff like that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, unfortunately, he was probably a top 3 round draft pick in a lot of leagues. Unfortunately, he only has 40 yards rushing in both game 1 and game 2, and he's not really much of a pass catching back, and Mahomes doesn't seem to know he exists over there. So I'm not looking for him to be no more than like a flex option, maybe running back 2 in some deep leagues. James Conner, drop him. I'm just going to drop him. He's not doing what he did in Pittsburgh. He's not going to do that again. He's not the number 1. He's not the number 2 because that's Kyler. So go ahead and drop him. Robert Woods, it hurts me to say it, but I think his years of being that number 1 receiver over there in LA is done. I don't look for him to be no more than a flex or maybe a low-end wide receiver too the rest of the way. Devontae Parker, Will Fuller's coming back. Waddle looks to be doing really good. And Jacoby Brissett is a quarterback for right now until Tua comes back. Prayers up for Tua, by the way. But don't look for Devontae Parker to do much. Austin Hooper's on the Browns. Baker's not finna throw for 500 yards in games. That's going to damage Hooper's upside a lot. Look for him to be a low-end tight end too the rest of the way. Pickups for the waiver. We got Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy looks good over there in Denver. If you need a quarterback, look no further. He could be your low-end QB1. Same thing with Daniel Jones. He looks good, but the team looks bad. Saquon's not there, and if Saquon's not there, they got to throw that ball. But by the way, if y'all find Saquon, go ahead, have him give me a call. Try to get him back into this offense sooner than later. Also, Derek Carr. Derek Carr looks to be so good in these first 2 weeks with wins over the Ravens and with the win over the Steelers. two really good defenses. Look for Derek Carr to be mid-tier QB1 the rest of the way. Don't sleep. Pick up J.D. McKissick if you're in a deep league, you need some running back help. He's a third down back. He's the pass catching back, and he's 2-minute drill back. So look for him to be productive until they figure out that thing out with Antonio Gibson over there in Washington. Pollard's a good pickup because, like I said, he's a pass catching back in Dallas. Even though he's the number 2, he showed some consistency through the first 2 games. Look for that to continue. Mike Williams of the LA Chargers, pick him up. Him and Herbert have something going on. I don't know what they got going on over there, but it looks good. So definitely pay attention to him. Darius Slayton, yeah, he sold on that touchdown, but he still looked really good. He looks like to be the number 2 option behind Sterling Shepard over there in New York. They're going to be down a lot. Saquon's not there. Look for Darius Slayton to step his game up for these next couple of weeks. Last but not least, some pickups that you can look at. Mike Gesicki, yeah, like he had a goose egg last week, and he had like 7-8 points this week. So, the production is there. Tua didn't like him. Jacoby looks to like him. So as long as Tua's out, look for Gesicki to be a good low-end tight end too. But there's not really much at the tight end position to begin with, so that's pretty solid. But hey, that's it for Fantasy Corner. If you have any questions, feel free to get at me. G-Man is the man on Instagram and Twitter. Y'all know where to find me. Be happy to help you. Like I said, I won all 3 of my games this week. Let me help you win all your games for the following weeks. Peace.
Thank you, Gerard, with the beautiful insight. We got that audio issue figured out pretty quick in there. But yeah, if you guys need somebody to help you out with fantasy, he is the guy. He is doing pretty well in his fantasy leagues. He's knowing who to pick up. And that's how you win championships, off the waiver wire. So if you have never won your league yet, listen to this man.
Absolutely.
And we're just going to flip right over because you guys know that we are really big baseball fellas, right? You guys know this. We're big Yankee fans around here. And they're not playing very well.
No.
In fact, some would say they're really bad.
Some would say they might not even make the playoffs. And with the way this American League Wild Card race is going, sheesh. The AL East is just incredible. You got the Rays in at the top, leading the whole American League with 92 wins. Pretty much a lock to have that. And then Boston and Toronto with the top 2 wild card spots right now. The Yankees are a game and a half back out of that. Oakland's 2 games, probably just going to end up being a 3-team race between them. And it's shaping up to be a wild card race.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, right? Because those 3 teams have just been cycling past each other for the last month or so. The Jays were pretty down bad for a while. They went on a really good hot streak, got themselves right back into it. They have what in a normal season would probably be the American League MVP in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It is not a normal season. He should win it as a hitter. He's not going to. That's unlucky. But he has been the most impactful offensive player in baseball this year. And he's been playing as well as anybody just down the stretch. And something important that I want to note about the Blue Jays, right?
Okay.
The Blue Jays are second in baseball in run differential. Second in baseball. The only team better than them is the Dodgers. The Dodgers are pretty significantly better than them. The next closest team, the Blue Jays, are plus 177 in run differential. The next closest team is plus 74. They are over 100 runs better than the next best team at run differential. That offense is absolutely explosive. And they figured out the pitching. Alek Manoah has been really good towards the end of this year. Definitely a Rookie of the Year candidate. He probably won't win it just with Wander and Randy Arozarena and Ryan Mountcastle doing what they've been doing all year. And Adolis Garcia. Adolis might win Rookie of the Year as a 28-year-old, which is wild.
You love to see it. You love to see old rookies. Shout out Yerman.
Yeah, well,
Don't
not yeah,
shout out Tony La
yeah.
Russa.
I don't know about your, but yeah,
No, but I'm just saying, like he was an old head rookie, balling, got derailed from his nice manager. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Adelise is really dope.
yeah. He's been really good. He's been a bright spot for that Rangers team. Um, you mentioned the A's being out of it. I don't even know if I agree. They're
Well, I didn't say out of it. I just said I think it's gonna be between the three.
yeah, and I probably agree. It's the
I mean, they're only a half game back behind the Yankees,
yeah.
so it's not like they're far.
Yeah, it's certainly the deepest division in baseball. Uh,
Yeah.
those four teams could all make, like, honestly, whichever ones wind up making it, right? Any of them could make a deep run. And if there's one that I'd bet on making a deep run, it's actually the Blue Jays. I have a lot of faith in the Blue Jays.
I've said it to start the year. I was pretty scared of this Toronto team because their bats are ridiculous.
Yeah, but it was never an issue about the bats. That's the thing. It was never
No,
the bats. They go and they
no.
trade for Jose Barrios. He's been pretty solid. He hasn't been anything crazy. He's been pretty solid. Ryu has
Mhm.
had a down year for them, but he hasn't needed to be that number one guy and the only guy that can stop other teams from getting runs. Alec Manoah
Mhm.
again, and then Robbie Ray, based off of what Garrett Cole did last night and stunk up the joint against the Indians. Robbie Ray might be your American League Cy Young winner. And to have a Cy Young candidate, never mind a winner, just a candidate out of that group is a lot more than you could have asked for. And they've really done some good things over there.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, their pitching staff impressed me too, but they're a dangerous team, man. They're really dangerous, and it's gonna be interesting to see what type of run they could make if they end up officially getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, and name of this this episode is "The Birds Are Flying High." And if you go to the other side, the St. Louis Cardinals, man, out of absolutely nowhere, are on an 8-game win streak, and all of a sudden they have a 3-game lead over the Reds for that second wild card spot. The Cardinals at the break, the All-Star break, just looked like a team that they spent a lot of money this offseason and we didn't know why.
Yeah, we weren't really talking too much about them too, because we were just all right, no problem. But in the midst of that 8 game winning streak, they also go ahead and sweep the Padres. And now we're looking at the Padres 3.5 back out of that second wild card spot, tied with the Phillies. And Dodgers St. Louis is a really interesting wild card game that I don't think any of us really expected coming into this season.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that um, their bats have just gotten hot, right? Tyler O'Neill's been really,
Hmm.
really good. Harrison Bader learned how to play some offense. He's been a great defender his whole career, but he's been really good on the offensive end. Arenado and Goldschmidt have been exactly what we know them to be. I think Arenado's literally at like all of his career averages this year. He's just had another Arenado-esque year, which good to not see the regression leaving cores. I think that was a big issue with him and a lot of those Rockies players that are really good offensively. They leave. How good are they actually? Clearly,
Yeah.
Arenado is still an elite third baseman. And Alex Reyes, I think that's been the biggest thing for this team. The development of Alex Reyes as a reliever. He always had a lot of talent. He throws the ball hard. But moving him to the bullpen where you can get 2 to 3 innings out of him if you need to, he's also had the moxie to come in and close several games this year. He has been the biggest difference to me for this team as a whole. And, you know, Cardinals are looking good. I don't like them at all in a matchup versus the Dodgers, like at all. But we'll take what we can get. Dodgers have a 16-game lead on them. 16.
The Dodgers are sitting pretty. They don't got to stress about nothing right now, except that wild card game.
Yeah, which is very stressful. And I mean,
So
how
stressful.
far back are they from the Giants? They got to be a couple games, right? They're only 1 game back. So that The Giants might win 106 games and beat a wild card team. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah. And then the Giants are a pleasant surprise too when you look at this season.
I mean, but that's been a year-long story. Like they're not even a
It
surprise
it
at this point.
has.
The Giants have been so good.
Yeah.
So good. I also want to mention that I mentioned the Blue Jays being second. That was second in wild card teams. So not teams not in first place. So in run differential. I want to throw that out there. It wasn't showing me the other big boys like the Giants who are plus 181. So
Gotcha.
do want to amend that. But still that offense has been really good. Going into the playoffs, there's one team you don't want to see. Who is it? Like for you. To win the wild
It
card.
got it.
Right?
The wild card.
Yeah, like one of these wild card teams. Obviously, like
Oh. If it ends up being the Dodgers in there, it got to be them, just because that is not a wild card team when you look at it. Everybody else, okay, yeah, they belong there. The Dodgers aren't a wild card team coming into this, so you, it's David versus Goliath at that point. You don't want to see them.
they're 40 games over 500, and they. Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
like, come on now.
That's crazy. It's
But if we had to go just all around playoff team that I would want to see, probably the Tampa Bay Rays.
really.
Yeah, just they don't lose, man. They always find a way to just clutch it out. They just figure it out. They get it done, and they're a scary team when it comes to your back's against the wall, and you gotta take care of them
Absolutely.
because they don't go down.
They really don't. They really don't. I agree that the Rays are going to be really good in the playoffs, but I'm really looking at the for any team in general. I'm looking at the Astros. Um,
Astros,
I feel like the Astros have been really slept on this year.
they have people don't want to give them any credibility because the nonsense.
Kyle
Fair
Kyle
enough.
Tucker has been absolutely elite on offense this year. Framber Valdez has had a breakout season. Lance McCullers has been really good. Their pitching has been phenomenal, and that's with Greinke not being as good as Greinke kind of is. And Justin Verlander still hasn't pitched for this team. So
Insane.
without those guys, they've been really good. And if there is a year for them to do it, this is maybe not the last year, but they're likely losing Correa this offseason. They're going to have to figure out some money things. It's definitely not the last season, but this is the last full strength Astros team we'll see. And I really do think we're kind of ignoring how good of a year they've had.
Yeah, I mean they're right back there, right back to where we've gotten used to seeing them at the top of their division, and yeah, we nobody wants to give them the credit,
No.
but they've been balling.
I hate giving them credit. I really do.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. It's kind of a couple years removed at this point, the whole scandal thing, and I'm kind of back into like let me enjoy good teams do good things besides the Red Sox because obvious reasons. Um, so I'm kind of enjoying what the Astros are doing, especially the way they piece together their pitching. Like again, losing 2 Cy Young winners and 1 just bona fide Hall of Famer is really tough. And
Yeah.
you know they're making it work over there. They're absolutely making it work.
No doubt.
You got anything
No
else for me
doubt.
today, Burke?
Nah, I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. Playoffs are about to get officially rolling. I'm excited to see how this all plays out. Football's back. We're live. You get to see our beautiful faces.
Yes, sir.
We've been whispering sweet nothings into your ears for a year and a half. Now, you get us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of that, we just hit our 100th episode, so thank you to everybody. We appreciate it all. This run has just been incredible. We're so excited, so happy to bring you guys all of this. It's really fun, man.
It really is.
It's
If you
really
guys
fun.
haven't seen it already, go ahead and check out our merch store. We put out some good stuff starting our 100th episode, so go check that out. Brooklyn's wearing a hoodie right now. So go check out all that if you're interested. Thank you guys. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff if you don't already. And we will be back with you guys live on YouTube again next week. Stay tuned. Have a good one, everybody. Chat, you still here? Tart, what's going on? What's going on, chat? So that's kind of the way we're gonna. That's kind of the way we're gonna do the episode. So we recorded that, right? We're probably not gonna talk to chat during. Obviously, you guys can like talk to us and all that.
Unless like we ask.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But we're not ignoring you. I see what's going on over there. But we'll probably do like before or after. Probably before, just to be like, hey, do you guys have any questions? So we could do like a quick like question segment type of a thing. I think that could be kind of good. But you know, Finn, thanks for showing up, brother. We appreciate you, big fellow. You got to hear me gush about the Blue Jays, so that's how I feel. How about them Ravens? That boy's salty.
that boy was salty when we put up the
Yeah,
post.
he was hurt.
Oh yeah,
He was
damn.
down bad. How about them Ravens? How about
All
them
right,
Ravens?
all
I
right.
get it, bro.
Don't be spamming the chat.
I get it now, big fella. I get it. I'm sorry. Y'all doubt us. It's not even a doubting y'all. Y'all played the best team I've ever seen. The Chiefs are nuts.
And you guys got all your wings clipped.
The Chiefs are nuts,
You got
bro.
no feathers left.
You expect me to come into a game and doubt Patrick Mahomes? After all he's done? The State Farm guy? Come on now. That's terrible.
Terrible, man.
That's terrible.
Terrible.
But you guys got anything for us before we head up out of here? We've been live, what, about 50 minutes? Not too bad.
Something like that.
Well, for Zach Wilson trash? Yeah, he's pretty bad. Pretty bad. That's just tough. Just right. Oh man. Mute your ears, Rick, so I can go in. Mute your ears so I can talk about how much I hate the Jets.
No. I'm here. Let me have it.
You want to hear it? You want to hear the true opinion?
I mean, go for it. Have at it, brother.
The Jets are the second worst organization in football, and they're a bottom 10 organization in American sports.
Who's the first?
Washington.
At least we're not first.
And it's honestly tough to even say Washington's worse. They're only worse because their management's actually a bunch of bad people, like legitimately bad people. Because they've put decent products out there over the last decade. Never great, but like decent. But they don't want to get a... Jew, you have a little bit of crackling over your audio, but other than that, all good. Got you. We'll try and figure that out. It's probably because we're on Skype, so it's probably audio through that. I know when we came back from the Gerard thing, Brooklyn's mic went bass boosted for some reason.
For real?
Been screaming, and I've been trying to fix that. I don't know if he's been screaming for you guys. If you want to let me know if he's been really loud for y'all. And Brooke, you wound up hearing Gerard when I fixed that issue, right?
Yeah, I heard Gerard the whole time.
Yeah. Well, not the whole time, but once I fixed it, right?
I heard him the whole time.
Interesting. Bills greater than the Jets, yeah.
Correct.
than the Jets, yes. Dude, Gerard, I'm genuinely surprised about that outcome, though. Like, I know Tua got hurt, but 35-0?
Yeah.
They couldn't do anything? Josh Allen was big mad. Don't get the white boy big mad.
Gee, the segment was really good, bro.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah,
good job.
Sucks that it wasn't fully audible during this, but we'll make sure it's audible during the podcast episode itself.
Hey, but that's good. We got it.
Don't sleep. I literally am not sleeping. I have them losing in the AFC Championship again. Don't. Ravens best team in the NFL. This man's stupid. The Ravens might be the third best team in their division.
Dark. Relax, bro.
You gotta win your division before you're the best team in the NFL. Now, let me backpedal here. The Vikings with a kicker are the best team in the NFL. Give me a kicker and we're great.
Fully healthy, yeah. You guys are unstoppable. Are you fully healthy?
Fully healthy, yeah. And if
answer that question for me, and then I will say you guys are the best team in the NFL.
Fully healthy, yeah. But if Pluto was bigger, it would be a planet. So like. Dude, stop the cap. We own the North. When's the last time you won a division? Literally, when's the last time you won a division? Like, I would never say the Vikings run the North. We haven't won the division in like 4 years. It's a stupid sentence. Come on, big fella.
Terrible.
I really do like the Ravens though, bro. I just wish that they had a running back that like knew how to run. Last year, you guys literally didn't win the division last year. The Steelers won the division last year. Or am I stupid?
Probably.
No. The Steelers won a division. Don't make me second guess myself. I'm the spectator here, Tarek. You said last year.
That boy living in IRL
saying,
fantasy.
Bro, what? The Steelers were 11-0 last season. And only won the division by 1 game. And y'all won y'all were only second because of not a technicality, but because you had the same record. You had the same record as the Browns, just the division record was better. So it's not a technicality, but
what do you guys think about the layout we got going on? You guys like it? What do you think?
Y'all remember the playoff game against the Ravens last year? Talk your talk, G-Man. Imagine. That's rude.
Oh.
That's rude, bro. I'm not here for that slander. That's rude as hell. I actually don't. That's the crazy part. So let's go look it up. I don't remember what happened to him in the playoffs.
Johnny, son. What's poppin'?
NFL still does play. When's the last time the Jets or the Giants were in the playoffs? 14? The Giants in the playoffs in 14? It's been a long time for the Jets. It's literally been since butt fumble, man. Could have full speed. What this hooligan talking about? Bill's trap. That boy. He's in a different dimension, bro. Sorry, you good, bro? Because I know y'all only scored 3 last year in the playoffs, so I just want to know, you good? Our last playoff performance was Odell Banana Boat. Ain't no way. The Banana Boat? That's terrible.
Terrible.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Do you guys have any opinions on this layout we got going on here? Or are we handsome and talented? Fully committed.
Joe, I actually like this. Just like a post episode chat room after.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
Absolutely. Looks dope. Thanks, Johnny Sun Gaming. Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
former Twitch affiliate Johnny Sun Gaming. Do you lose affiliate status? Are you still an affiliate?
That man
Oh,
is
he
still
is
a
because
big
Brooklyn
boss.
was giving him the subs automatically for like extra X amount of months, right?
Yeah, because you can only take it off on desktop, bro. And I was
Fair
never
enough.
on desktop. So Johnny just bamboozled me into giving him free subs.
Free money. He probably hasn't even
Money,
had
money,
that money. That
money.
money's probably sitting in Twitch waiting for him to hit 100. Because you only get a payout at $100.
I'm sure he's almost
Sure,
there.
he's almost there. Are you able to see chat though, Brooke?
Well, I actually had to cut YouTube off in the middle. Well, not even the middle, like 5 minutes in, because it was
Really
really, really
laggy. You can't
laggy.
run anything on that damn computer.
So I went ahead and just shut it off. Oh well, and I'm here now, but it's so delayed, bro.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
yeah,
But all right, boys, we're gonna hop up out of here. We appreciate everybody for stopping by, for checking it out. We will have this episode up on Spotify and all that probably around 5 or 6, or whenever it's ready. It'll get sent, honestly, because it's already
yeah.
available. So thank you guys so much. I'm gonna give you all a kiss like it's my damn stream. Mwah! Yeah, we'll see you guys.
Appreciate it.
Take it easy.